නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. ඉත තප්පති පිච්ච තප්පති පාපකාරී උභරත්ත තප්පති පාපන්නේ කතං තේ තප්පති බියෝ තප්පති දුක්ගතින් ගතෝ. Venerable Chief Bhante Dr. Walasmulle Sirisumana Nayakatero at the Ottawa Buddhist Vihara, and dear devotees and friends in Dhamma, I received the invitation for today's Dhamma talk from the family of our Dhamma school student Senate, commemorate his birthday and his grandmother's birthday also in this month. I have chosen to base my Dhamma talk about the 10 perfections or 10 virtues, activities that we should develop to live a more meaningful life. In doing so, I want to start by reminding you of Mani Chora Jataka. When you hear money, then you know the meaning. You will see that there are true benefits to living such a life in this lifetime itself. Once, the Bodhisattva was born as an ordinary person and lived a simple life, practicing honest and noble qualities, including the 10 perfections. He eventually married a beautiful woman who looked like a goddess and who also practiced the 10 perfections just like him. They were very much in love with each other. It was love that was based on honesty and deep devotion. One day, they traveled from their village to see her parents in the city. As they entered the city gate, the king, riding his elephant, saw her walking behind the wagon, and he immediately became infatuated and deeply desired her. The king sent someone to find out if she had a husband. And when he learned that she did, he planned to get rid of him. The king gave a royal jewel to one of his helpers, and told him to drop it in the wagon belonging to the Bodhisattva. The man followed the orders from the king. As soon as the king received word that it was done, the king shouted and announced that he had lost a royal jewel and ordered the city gates to be shut until they found the thief. The royal guards, of course, found the jewel in Bodhisattva's wagon. Based on the king's orders, the royal guards beat him, kicked him, and dragged him in front of the king. The king ordered the guards to have him killed. They whipped him while they led him through the south gate of the city for execution. His wife wept and wailed at the unfairness of what happened. She wished that because she had lived a life of absolute virtue and righteousness, some god or spirit should intervene and save her husband's life. Her genuine sadness and sorrow caused the throne of the King of Gods to become warm. The god Indra then used this divine eye to inquire about the happenings in the human world. He saw the injustice that took place. He came down from the heaven and searched the bodies of the wicked king and Bodhisattva immediately before the axe fell, beheading the king, not Bodhisattva. The citizens cheered at the death of the wicked king. Then God Indra took human form and revealed himself. He appointed Bodhisattva and his wife as the king and queen of that kingdom. God Indra then explained to everyone why he came to human world to intervene. It was because Bodhisattva and his wife were pure at heart. They were virtuous. They never harmed anyone. They did everything honestly. They both practiced the 10 perfections every opportunity they had. He then advised to new king and queen to continue practicing the virtues and rule with justice and generosity. The Buddha explained this story. The Buddha explained that the wicked king was an earlier birth of Devadatta. And even in previous life, Devadatta, and even previous life, he tried to kill Bodhisattva many times. The devoted wife was a previous birth of Princess Yasodhara up to this story. The god Indra was a previous birth of Arahant monk called Anuruddha. I am pretty sure you know that because Devadatta carried negative and hateful thoughts towards Bodhisattva during his samsara journey. Even in this lifetime, he tried to find ways to kill the Buddha 3 times. Of course, he was not successful. After he died, he was born in hell. You know that story. Now let's talk at why I choose this story and how it is relevant to our lives. Do you remember how the wife saved her husband's life? She wished, based on all the good deeds she had done and the resulting merits she accumulated, that her husband's life be saved. Wouldn't you agree that she must have done some very good deeds to be able to get the attention of the King of Gods? Have you noticed how people try to get the attention of good these days? I think you know that. If you have been in Katragama, you can see many. They offer a big basket containing fruits, flowers, money, and incense. As well, they light thousands of oil lamps, candles, promising other good favors if their wishes came true in the future. My dear Dhamma friends, instead of developing good qualities within oneself, they try to deceive gods and ask for favors. It is not possible to deceive gods. You may offer things to gods, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, you should also improve good qualities in your life. Okay, then let's talk and let's look at these qualities that are called 10 perfections that Bodhisattva and his wife practice through their samsara journey. What are the 10 perfections according to Theravada Buddhist teachings? Generosity, giving, charity, or Pali word is dhamma. Pali word is dhamma. Second one is morality. Morality means sila. Third one is renunciation or letting go, practicing detachment. For Pali word is nekkhamma. Fourth one is insight. Some people use insight knowledge, insight or wisdom. Pali word is prajna. Fifth one is energy, effort. Pali word is virya. Patience is number 6. Pali word khanti, but many people use Sanskrit word shanti for patience. Truthfulness is the number 7. Pali word is for that satya, satya. Number 8 is strong determination. In a Pali language, call that adhitthana. Number 9 is loving kindness or selfless love, metta. Last one, number 10, equanimity. Pali word is for that upekha. Now let's talk about the first quality, generosity. What is the generosity in terms of Buddhist teachings? Dana is not simply giving food to the monks or others. Dana is the act of giving without expectation. Dana is giving generously your time, energy, belongings, and kindness. It could really be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a materialistic thing. Anything that you give wholeheartedly without any string attached. Okay, now let's move on to the second quality, sila. Then we must ask ourselves, what is sila? Sila is behaving in accordance to moral standards. Let's look at what we consider to be moral standards. Let's look at the 5 precepts. then you can understand, realize what are the sila. We shall not kill any beings. Panatipata veramani. We shall not kill any beings. This also includes hurting others and maiming them. As children and adults, you should think and imagine what it must be like be the victim of such acts. If you wouldn't want it for yourself, then think that others wouldn't want it either. Every living being want to stay alive. They value their lives more than anything else. For example, if someone hurts you or beats you, would you like it? No, absolutely not. Second precept is adinadana veramani. We shall not steal. This means taking things that do not belong to you without permission. Sometimes you may see extra pens, pencil, papers or anything else and decide to bring them home from either school or office, from anywhere. It doesn't belong to you. Your decision to bring them home without permission is called stealing. All these actions are based on dishonesty. Now think what would happen if others treated you this way. Every actions of everyone you dealt with was dishonest towards you. How would you feel? If it is not acceptable to you, then it is not acceptable to others. You should realize that. Third precept is kame sunichachara. We shall not act in promiscuous ways or immoral ways. Again, we need to act with honesty. When we behave with dishonesty, then we hurt others in our lives. Fourth precept is the musavada. We shall not lie. This also involves spreading gossip about others, using harsh words or coarse words towards others, speaking meaningless or purposeless words. Generally, people don't put too much thought into their speech, but we should do that. Once a harsh word is spoken, we cannot ever take it back. Once we hurt someone through our words, it is hard for them to forget. You know that. I am sure that if you look at your own lives, you wouldn't want to others to spread gossip about you. You don't want. I'm sure you wouldn't want anyone to speak to you in a harsh way. Same way, others would not like it. Others would not like it. So, think before you speak. Think before you speak. Think of the impact you will have on another person. Which fifth precept is suramere. We shall not consume alcohol, drugs or anything that we become addicted to. This also can include gambling and other reckless behaviors. These can have very serious consequences for your family life. Let's take gambling for example. gambling. You could lose your money if you gamble. As well, you lose your house, your belongings, and your family. Not only that, you could also lose your life in some circumstances. Drinking can have similar consequences or result. Think of all the lives that have been lost because people decide to drink and drive. Drink meaning not the cold water. I mean here alcohol. Okay, children? Drink and drive. We need to once again think, what if we were the ones to get hurt in such a situation? How would we feel? How would we feel then? Do we want to lose our parents to a drunk driver? It is very clear. Your answer is no. If it is not acceptable to you, then it is not acceptable for someone else. Although there are many other good actions that we could follow. These are the primary ones in Buddhist teachings. Really, when you look at these, they are simply advised to lead a good life. It really doesn't have any religious reference. It is simply advised to adjust our behavior. Why is it important to live a moral life? Living a moral life has many real and meaningful results, as well as receiving the blessing from God. Other human beings, such as your teachers, elders, peers, parents, friends, co-workers, to name a few. It makes you feel good. You will be well liked. Third quality is renunciation. Now let's look at what is called renunciation or letting go or nikkhamma. What is this? What is meaning of that? It means that you see everything in life is not permanent. Everything you see around you have an expiry date. Everything dies, including you and your loved ones. Therefore, it doesn't make sense to be attached to things that you have to part from one day. There is nothing permanent in this universe. Fully realizing this gives a person a sense of freedom. The attachment weighs you down. Bonds weighs you down. Realizing that you have to part with everything and move on makes you become less attached to things. So you have to improve renunciation. Fourth quality is wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to learn lessons from the experiences we have in life and then apply them in future situations. Now the lesson or the experience could be either good or bad, but being able to apply the knowledge we have gained in a positive, smart and a useful way are qualities that a wise person has with that intellect. This is called having good judgment. I want you to understand the difference between intelligence and wisdom. You can improve your intelligence while you are studying, listening, and learning or discussing. But wisdom is not like that. Firstly, you have to comprehend your consciousness or your thought process. Then, as wise children, you will develop, as adults, you will develop the ability to distinguish between good thoughts and bad thoughts and actions. Fifth quality is effort. Effort is the fifth one. This is the time and energy you put into staying in the right path. There are so many distractions in life. Sometimes there is so much pressure from your peers to do wrong things. Sometimes very enticing situations will present themselves. No one is watching, so you might think there are no consequences. But remember, there are always consequences. A bodhisattva wouldn't do anything wrong even secretly. Their hearts are pure with all the pressure they have from others and their environment. They stay determined and continue their effort to travel in the right path. It is not easy, but we all should. Next quality is patience. Patience is known as a virtue in most societies. For Buddhists, patience arises with oneself first. You must cultivate patience for yourself and then extend the same patience to imperfections that others may have. Patience comes from a place of acceptance, tolerance, kindness, and generosity towards oneself and others. Next quality is truthfulness. Such being truthfulness and honest is a quality that we must practice every minute of our existence. Every minute of our existence. We cannot postpone that. The Bodhisattva didn't lie even secretly. Even you read Jataka's story depicting his previous life, he always told the truth, acted in honest ways. There are very valuable merits in leading such a life. Trust is a very valuable and difficult quality for most people to attain. But for those who lead their lives in honesty, it is very easy. People admire them. People want to be around trustworthy individuals. Your reputation is not something you can buy. There isn't enough money in the world to change something if you have a bad reputation as a dishonest person. Next quality, number 8, quality is strong determination. That's also so important for our lives. Those who travel in the path of righteousness must stay determined in the face of many distractions. Sometimes they will have obstacles or moments that they may have doubts. But their quality is that they don't allow these hindrances to sway them from their goal. They have a strong determination that is unbreakable in the face of adversity. This is the strong belief in the value of leading a righteous life. Loving kindness is the number 9. Loving kindness is comparable to compassion here. There is not the love that we talk about in relationships. This is universal love for all beings, realizing that all life forms have value. There are living beings that we can observe with our eyes, and then there are beings we cannot see. They are equally important, and all beings deserve our compassion. So we should improve these qualities. Equanimity is the number 10. The Pali word is upekha. At this point, equanimity may sound like a big word to many. Some may wonder what this means. Some try to distinguish this between wanton and passiveness. It is as difficult as splitting hairs. But ultimately, it means fully realizing the nature of our universe and its functions and accepting the results equally, whether it is negative or positive. It means that you accept the laws of nature. You accept that you cannot change these. Once you surrender to this fact, then you become at peace. Why would you get stressed over things you cannot change? Equanimity is coming to peace or accept things as they are. Being in the middle path. Try to be in the middle path. Not overreacting to either negative or positive experiences. They are simply experiences. Then whether they are negative or positive becomes irrelevant to you. Now that we have learned about the beautiful story Manichora Jatake and what the 10 perfections are, now you should have an understanding as to why it is important to practice these qualities. In Manichora Jatake, practicing the 10 perfections saved the Bodhisattva's life. Looking into your lives, what do you think are the benefits? Every moment of your lives, you should reflect on these virtuous qualities and make an effort to practice them. As I have mentioned before, this is not an easy path. It requires you to be disciplined with yourself. It's the gradual path. That's why it is important that from young age you listen to Dhamma. You learn about Dhamma and you diligently practice Dhamma. Then you can ask me, Bhante, what is Dhamma? We heard that many times in our lives. Dhamma is teaching of the Buddha, that's the one meaning. About law of nature and righteous behavior. Simply you can understand what is the meaning of Dhamma. By doing so, you too will achieve a happy and stress-free moment-to-moment existence in this life. You will have a taste of what enlightened mind is like. Applying all these qualities, practicing all these qualities with determination, will lead you to becoming fully enlightened in the end. In addition to becoming fully enlightened, remember the expression. I suppose you have heard this before. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. It means that when you purposely go out of your way to hurt others, whether it is through gossip or stealing or physically hurting or any other way, it will come back to you. It will come back to you. That is the nature of the universe. So, my dear friends, children, devotees, my advice to you all, whether young or old, is to always make an effort to engage in virtuous activities. In traveling this path, you will accomplish two tasks. You will accomplish two tasks. First, you will be well liked by others. Secondly, you will attain enlightenment. Today, this speech I will give a brief explanation in Sinhala language also, a little bit later. I got the invitation to do this Dhamma talk on behalf of our Dhamma school student and my little yoga teacher, Senen, from his family. Our all children know that he is a well-known person here. I know you are a very kind-hearted boy and you follow Buddha's teaching very well with your sisters.
Thank you.
Every week you teach other students yoga without any complaints. I appreciate that very much. I want to wish you success today and in your future. May everything you do be successful.
Thank you.
Also, this month I heard that it is your grandmother's birthday. Am I right, sir? Yes.
Yes.
She is also one of the main devotees of this temple. Every month offered very delicious dana. Kusmanona. She is also, we want to wish her good health, happiness and long life. Now, we will transfer merits to your grandfather, Senate K.W. Karnaratna, and other devotees also. All together, all of you also can transfer merit to your departed relatives. We won't share these merits with all of our listeners or other participants. You can share these merits for your departed relatives as well. After that, before recite the transferring merits Gata, Idam me jnatinam hotu, I would like to finish my English speech. May you all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Vasanavanta පින්වතුනි, අද ධර්ම දේශනාව පිළිබඳව මම නැවතත් සිංහලනුත් පොඩ්ඩක් හරි කියන්නේ මටත් කොච්චර වුණත් සිංහලෙන් කියනවා වගේ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් මේ ටික මම හිතන දේ කියුණාද කියලා කොච්චර හරි මගේ හිතේ ඩවුට් එකක් තියෙන සැකයක් ඇති වෙනවා. කොහොම වුණත් අද ධර්ම දේශනාව මම විශේෂයෙන්ම අරමුණු කරගත්තේ අපේ පුංචි දරුවෝ ටික දහම් පාසලේ. ඉතින් මේ ධර්ම දේශනාවට මම ගාථාව තෝරගත්තා ධම්මපදේ. ඒ ගාථාවේ අර්ථය වන්විත් අපි මේ ජීවිතය තුළ යමක් නරක සිතින් සිද්ධ කරනවා නම් ඒ නරක සිත අකුසලයක් පවක් හැටියට අපේ ජීවිතේ පසුපස් වෙනවා. ඉද තප්පති පිච්ච තප්පති. Here he suffers if he අපි එහෙම දුක්ඛත දෙයක් සිද්ධ කළොත් අපිට මේ ජීවිතය තුලත් අපි දුකෙන් කාලය ගත කරනවා. එකතනින් අවසන් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ජීවිතෙන් පස්සේ මේ දුක අපේ පස්සේ ගමන් කරනවා. හරියට ගුණා පසුපස එන කරත්ත රෝදයක් වගේ දුකත් අපේ පසුපස්සෙම ගමන් කරනවා. අපේ දුක කියන දේ නැත්තම් නරක කියන දේ අපි කරන්නේ අපේ හිතේ. මනිචෝර ජාතකයේ බෝධිසත්වයන්ගේ සහ බෝධිසත්වයන් වහන්සේගේ බිරිඳ දෙදෙනාම සංසාර ගමනේ හොඳ පින් දහම් කරගෙන ආපු අය. හොඳ කරගෙන ආවොත් අපිට වරදින්නේ. ඉතින් මේ අයට කරදරයක් ආවා. රජුරුවන්ගේ. ඉතින් රජවරු ලස්සන නෝන කෙනෙක් බිරිඳා කෙනෙක් කාන්තාවක් දැක්කම බොහොම ඉක්මනට ඇය කැමති කරව ගන්නවා ඔහුගේ බිරිඳක් හැටියට තියාගන්න. පස්සේ බැරින්නම් මේ බෝසත්ත්වයන් වහන්සේගේ බිරිඳ විවාහ වෙලා. රජුරු දැනගත්තා. රජුරු උපායක් යෙදුවා. වටිනා ආභරණයක්. මේක මනි චෝරණේ. මනි කියනකොටම දන්නවා දැන් ඉංග්‍රීසියටත් මනි එන්නේ නැත්තේ පාලි භාෂාවෙන් කියලා හිතන්න පුළුවන්. එදත් මනි කියලා කිව්වේ මේ වටිනා කියන වස්තු වලට. මැණි, රත්තරන් මේ දේවල්. එතකොට රජුරු රාජාභරණය අර දෙදෙනා ගමන් කරන වාහනේ සංගවල උපක්‍රමයක් යොදවලා හොරු හැටියට අඬබෙර ගහලා මුළු රටේම ප්‍රසිද්ධ කළා. මරන්නත් යෙදුවා. සංසාර ගමනේ පින්නතුනේ අන්න ඒකයි. ඔබ හරිනම් ඔබ නිවැරදි නම් කොච්චර කවුරු මුළු ලෝකයක්ම කෑ ගහලා ඔබට විපත් කරන්න ගියත් ඒව සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔබ ඇති කරගත්තු ශක්තිය, කුසල ශක්තිය, පවනෙවි. පවනම් පවට අපාය ආදී දුක් ඇති ස්ථාන උපදිනවා අපි දන්නවා. මිනිසෙක් කියලා ඉපදුනත් අඩුපාඩුකම් බහුලව උපදින්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා අපේ මේ හිතේ තියෙන අකුසල ගති නිසා. හැබැයි මේ බෝධිසත්වයන් වහන්සේගේ බිරිඳ හරීම ගුණ යහපත්කම නිසා අධිෂ්ඨානයක් කළා. මම සත්‍ය නම් පිරු පාරමී වල ශක්ති බලයේ ගුණ බලයේ මගේ ස්වාමියා මේ බෝසත්යන් වහන්සේ මේ දුකෙන් අත් මිදෙන්න ඕන කියලා. ඒ අනුවම ඉන්ද්‍ර කියලා සඳහන් කළේ සක් දෙවිඳුන්ටම කියන නම මේ ඉන්ද්‍ර නැත්තම් සක් දෙවිඳුගේ පඳුපුල් ආසනයේ රත් වෙනවා. මේක ඉන්ද්‍ර කියන දෙවියන්ට මේක දැනගන්න ලැබෙනවා. මොකද්ද මේ මනුස්ස ලෝකෙ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ කියලා. දැනගත්තා අකට යුත්තක් සිද්ධ වෙන්න යනවා. නොවිය යුත්තක් සිද්ධ වෙන්න යනවා. මේ ස්වභාව දහමට බලන්න මේක දැනන හැටි. ඒ දැනුණා ඇවිල්ලා අර මරන්න ගිය මොහොතේ බෝධිසත්වයන් වහන්සේ බේර ගන්නවා. අර උගුලට අසු වෙන්නේ කවුද? උගුල අටවපු කෙනා උගුලට අසු වුණා. ඔබට මේකට හොඳ උදාහරණ මෑත කාලේ ලංකාවේ ඔය ප්‍රවෘත්ති බලනවා නම් පත්‍ර බලනවා නම් හම්බෙනවා. ඔය ඌරන්ට සතුන්ට මල තීපු මිනිස්සු ඒවටම පටලැවිලා මිය ගිය අවස්ථා බොහොමයක් අපිට අහන්න ලැබෙනවා. ඉතින් අන්න ඒ වගේ ජීවිතේ අපි කාට හරි විපත් කරදර කළොත් අනුන් විවේචනය කරනවා. අනුන්ට දොස්පරොස් කියනවා නම් ඒවා නැවතත් අපිට පිටම තමයි එන්නේ. ඒක මතක තියාගන්න ඕන. ඒක තමයි මනිචෝර ජාතකයෙන් කිව්වේ. ඉතින් මම සඳහන් කළා මේ perfections හැටියට පාරමිතා ගුණ 10ක්. මොනවද අපේ ජීවිතේ අපි වඩන්න ඕන අපි දියුණු කරගන්න ඕන ගුණ ධර්ම 10ක් දස පාරමිතා හැටියට මම අද ධර්ම දේශනාවේ පැහැදිලි කළා පිටුට. ඉතින් මේ qualities මේ ගුණ ධර්ම අපේ ජීවිතයේ තුල අපි සංවර්ධනය කරගෙන අපේ ගමන ගියොත් අපි සංසාර දුකෙන් ඈතර වෙන්න අපිට අනිවාර්යෙන් උපකාර වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි හැමෝම පාරමී පුරන පින්නතුන් සේම අපේ ජීවන ගමන අපි කටයුතු කරමු. කිසිදු ආකාරයක පසුගිය ධර්ම දේශනාව සඳහන් කළා සෝමනස්ස සහගත ඥාන සම්පයුක්ත අසංකාරික සිතක් හෝ සසංකාරික සිතක්. ඒ කිව්වේ ඥානය කියන්නේ නුවණ. නුවණ තියෙන කාගේ හරි මෙහෙයීමක් ඇතිව හෝ නැතිව අසංකාරික සසංකාරික. මම මේ බණ දැම්මේ ඔබ වඩාත් කැමති අසංකරද සසංකරද කියලා. ඒ නම් දාලා තියෙන මේ ළමයිට. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ මෙහෙයීමක් ඇතිව හෝ නැතිව ඔබේ සිත කුසලයේ කෙරෙහි ඥානවන්තව ඔබට යොමු කරගන්න ලැබුණොත් ඔබේ මතු මේ ජීවිතයත් හොඳයි ඊළඟ ජීවිතයත් හොඳයි. ඉතින් මේ ගාථාවේ දෙව්දත් තෙරුන් ගැන මම සඳහනක් කළා. ධම්මනේ දෙව්දත් තෙරුන්ට වෙච්ච දේ. පෙර සංසාරෙත් වෛර බැඳගෙන ආවා. බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ ඒ කාලේ පින තිබ්බා මහාන වෙන්න. නමුත් පින තිබුණේ නැහැ නිවන් දකින්න. ඒ කරපු පව් නිසාම නැවතත් අපාගත වෙන්න වෙනවා. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේ වගේ අපිටත් ඕකම තමයි. අපේ හිතේ පව, අකුසලය, වෛරය, ක්‍රෝධය ලුහු බැඳගෙන ගමන් කළොත් අපිටත් වෙන්නේ දුකටපත් වෙන්න. දැන් මේ ධර්මයේ තේරෙනවා. හොඳ නරක තේරෙනවා. ඒ නිසා පින්වත් අපි හැමෝම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගන්න. කවදා නමුත් මේ සත්‍ය වූ ධර්මයේ මාට වටහා ගන්න ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය ඒකාන්ත වශයෙන්ම ලැබේවා මාර්ගඵල සංඛ්‍යාත නිවන් පිණිස මේ සියලු උත්සාහයන් හේතු වාසනා වේවා කියලා හැමදෙනාම සාදු කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගන්න.
Sadhu.
Now let's transfer merits to our departed relatives. හැමෝම හිතන්න සෙනග්ගේ 100 පමණක් නෙවෙයි. ඒ වගේම අපි හැමෝගෙම නමින් මිය ගියා වූ සියලු ඥාති ගුරුවරයාදීන්ට මේ පින් අනුමෝදන් වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනා ඇතිවගෙන හැමෝම ඥාතිට පින් දෙමු. ඉදම්මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම්මේ